he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter comes with her sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. That's Genesis 29, 6 and 7. Here Jacob has arrived in the land, and he's telling them how to water their sheep and what they should do. This is typical of him, by the way. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. Genesis 29, verse 8. While he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. Genesis 29 and 9. Now Rachel is a shepherdess. I wonder if my people were shepherdesses. My last name was Shepherd. Rachel is a shepherdess who takes care of the sheep. This was woman's work in that day. Now it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Genesis 29:10. Now, I don't know who told him to water the flock of Laban, but he did it. Jacob is not following anyone's law but his own. He made the rules for the game and he went through life. That is the first part of his life anyway. He has tremendous lesson to learn here. Uncle Laban is the one to teach you.
And that concludes J. Vernon McGee's commentary on verses 6 through 10. Now let's look at Chuck Smith's commentary on verses 6 through 10. God had his hand on Jacob and guided him to Haran, and Rachel happened to come up at that time. And, we're going to learn that actually it wasn't through Rachel, it's through Leah that the Jesus is descended through.
Okay.
We're going to learn that before the end of this chapter, but that's interesting that the lineage we're tracing is through Leah,
and not Rachel.
They had. I don't think I'm spoiling anything.
No.
Everybody should know this story by now. They had wait until there was enough people to move the rock. It gets on there for sitting around, Jacob does, and not actually doing anything. They just
He's lazy.
They just lay down their flocks around the well. They took all of them to move it, and Jacob moves it by himself. So
he's strong.
So I think that it may be in the next section that Chuck Smith talks about, but it was women's work to look after the flocks. The men sat around in the gates of the city, wheeling and dealing, and judging, and that sort of thing. So it was women's work to actually do the physical.
Come on,
labor.
sheep.
Aren't you glad you don't live in the
I'm so glad I don't do any sheep.
And so, so I can see that the problem probably was you have all these little girls, 13 to 15-year-old girls who are minding the sheep because Leah doesn't have a flock, but Rachel does.
Yeah.
And so you have all these little girls out there minding the sheep, and they can't move the rock. But if they get enough of them together,
all of them can.
All of them can move it together.
Come on, girl.
Jacob just goes up there and picks it up and tosses
it.
Oh
my goodness! That's like you opening up my cup tonight. I cannot open that cup.
But water. I guess this must be in the next section. He talks about how the water is so important there that they put something on it to protect it.
Right.
And that's why there was a rock on it as well.
Yeah.
So that concludes section